Britain is rushing to build more emergency field hospitals as it expects a surge in coronavirus cases. Already, a new Nightingale facility with around 4,000 beds has opened in London. The National Health Service says 2 more facilities will go under construction. Britain has more than 33,000 cases of COVID-19. Nearly 3,000 people have died. A huge bailout has also been announced for bus companies. More than $200 million will be spent keeping services on the road for people who can't work from home. Ollie Barrett is in London and he joins us now for more. Ollie, the new field hospital in London, is it ready to start taking COVID-19 patients already?
It is ready to start taking COVID-19 patients immediately. There will be around 500 beds available initially. Interestingly, we're being told as of right now that the patients won't start arriving themselves immediately because actually London at the moment has intensive care capacity to spare. That is certainly good news from the point of view of health officials. But as they expect that the outbreak will continue to grow and the number of patients, particularly here in the British capital, continues to grow as well, then the NHS Nightingale capacity will be very important indeed in terms of dealing with the outbreak, particularly here in London, which is the epicentre when it comes to the UK. In total, there will be 4,000 beds available when the service is fully operational at NHS Nightingale, and that will make it the biggest critical care facility in the world.
Ollie, the government has announced new funds to support bus operators. Are they planning to roll out more financial measures for businesses at this time?
Yeah, I think the government feels that keeping some of those local bus services operational is really important to keep the economy, those parts of the economy which are still open and which are critical to keeping Britain moving, that you really need people to be able to get around, and that, you know, bus companies going under would have been very difficult indeed. And yes, the government continues to insist that it will roll out whatever financial support packages are needed and are necessary. The government is in the process, as we speak, of tweaking some of the financial support available to businesses. It was found that some businesses weren't able to get access to support loans and guarantees from the government as quickly as they should have been. So the government is tweaking that, and the Treasury and the Chancellor Rishi Sunak continue to say that if more support is needed for sectors of the economy, then it will consider that on a case-by-case basis. We of course know that the aviation industry is keen on a bailout or government support of some kind, and that may well be coming down the tracks in the not too distant future.
Ollie, Prime Minister Boris Johnson is set to leave isolation today, a week after he was confirmed positive for the virus. How's he doing?
Well, we're not sure exactly when we're going to see him next. We've seen a couple of videos released by the Prime Minister over the last few days. It's just about possible that he could even host this evening's Downing Street briefing, the press conference that we have every day here now in the UK. Downing Street not giving us an indication whether that will happen or not. Certainly earlier today, Health Secretary Matt Hancock spoke about the Prime Minister and suggested that the Prime Minister had had more significant symptoms, a tougher case of COVID-19 than he himself had had, the Health Secretary, who had also come out of self-isolation on Thursday. Boris Johnson, in a couple of those videos that he has released, he's been also seen on the steps of Downing Street clapping for National Health Service workers. He hasn't looked in great shape, it has to be said, so it does appear that the Prime Minister has had a less mild case of COVID-19 than some other people have experienced, but we wait and see when we next see him again in public.
All right, Mary, thanks for that. Ollie Barrett speaking to us from London.